Okay, there's all kinds of trauma dressings, obviously. It's what to buy. People, I've seen them for 9, 10, 11, $12 for trauma dressing to $4 or $5. It's all, like I said earlier, if you've done it multiple times, you can do more with less. So I don't normally buy the expensive bandage material anymore. The dedicated trauma dressings, these are what I used to use when I was in Ukraine. These are just military trauma dressings. They call them ETDs, emergency trauma dressing, and it's in a different casing. It's just same bandage. It's by North American Rescue Product, which everybody knows. This is an H&H bandage. It's trauma dressing again. These are both dressings. They're gauze pads with ACE bandage attached, so you can place and then wrap around the limb or around the chest. They're good bandages. They're an investment. Again, you hope you don't ever have to use them, but the funny thing is when you use them so often, you don't want to keep buying them on your own because they're too expensive. You want to learn how to use something that's equally as effective but less of a hit economically when you use them so often. And that would be something like these dressings. This is called it used to be called a Cedderoth bloodstopper. These we use overseas a lot. This is what it looks like sealed. It's called, this one's a bloodstopper bandage. They're popular overseas. You can find them sometimes here, but a similar dressing, let's say more expensive, is sold by Tactical Medical Solutions. They sell one that actually has hemostatic rolled gauze inside it. But as you can see, once you open the Cedderoth, you have the pad, the absorbent pad. You also have the 2 rolls of gauze that you can pop out. One of them you can pack the wound with. The other one you can wrap the bandage around a limb or around the chest or abdomen. So this is what the bandage looks like outside the package, and this is what it looks like when it's inside the package. I used to use these all the time. I use 2 or 3 of these. We have our Vietnam again. I'm with them. Got a lot of those. Regular rolled gauze you can get on Amazon in bulk. I would buy these in bulk because this bandage material just has so many uses. You can use it on dogs with cuts on their legs. You can use it on kids for the day and change it when you get home, when it gets dirty. It's good for both packing and it's good for holding a dressing, holding a bandage onto a limb. You can use either, remember when you open something like this, you don't need to use the whole thing. If you use the whole thing for a small area, then I would take the excess and pack it on top and hold direct pressure. More rolled, the same type of rolled gauze, different company. There's all kinds of companies that you'll find on Amazon that sell rolled gauze. Just another trauma dressing, a different type. This is an H bandage. It's an old one from H&H Industries. It's the same company. The H bandage. This one has a built-in pressure bar like the emergency trauma dressings that the military uses. This was this company's branded pressure bar that they used. This is something I advise you buy in bulk. This is rolled gauze. This is in the form of what we used to call kerlix. Was actually a brand name. It was a brand name that turned into a universal name for any type of rolled gauze. It's just big, bulky, fine, latticed cotton. And I would suggest buying this in bulk, a box of this, because you can use it to pack wounds. It's very loose. Unwrap. You can use it for packing. You can use it for wrapping. Once you've packed, direct pressure. You can use it in conjunction with something like this. So I've used my Celox to pack, and then I wrap with my kerlix or Celox to pack initially with my packing stick. Then I finish packing with my kerlix and wrap the limb. That would be something for like a limb injury. It's not expensive at all. There you can buy boxes for $15, $20 on Amazon. The different forms of Celox that they have now, they have Celox Rapid. They're all the same formula in different packaging. This is actually impregnated gauze with the Celox material. This is the Celox material by itself in powder form. So this would be what I would use for puncture in an extremity that was bleeding, that I didn't know much about, but I needed to stop the bleeding immediately. I wanted to stop the bleeding. So I had placed a tourniquet, but the tourniquet can only stay on for a certain amount of time. So if I wanted to reduce the tourniquet, which would be another video, by the way, folks, I would use the Celox to help me stop the bleeding. None of these work alone. You still have to do your job, the medic job of 3 minutes, at least 3 minutes of direct pressure on top. By the way, with every movement of the patient, everything has to be reassessed. So every time you move the patient, you reassess what you've done to make sure it stayed in place, it's still working, and those are very important points. And when I do move, let's say I move, even if I'm in the third, like let's say we're up in the attic of a house and there's an older man who fell down and has a bad arm laceration, then I know that I'm in the third floor, then it's a tough, what we call carry down in EMS. What I would do is I would plan my move. So knowing that we're going around corners, the man's very heavy, we're carrying him into an awkward position, an experienced firefighter, paramedic, or EMT would plan their move. So I'd say, okay, this is what we're going to do. On 3, we're going to lift, we're going to move to the bottom step and stop. You don't ever want to move completely out of the room, out of the house, because you're not going to make it. I don't care how many what good shape your guys are in or what's going on. Somebody's going to trip and fall and bring you all down with the patient. So plan your move. Same thing in a tactical environment. Plan your move. Don't just go out and run towards wherever direction you think help is coming from. No, plan your move. Get somewhere safe. Get your shit together, and then plan your move. It's safer for the rescuers and for success for the patient. Last thing, here's another version of the quick clot gauze. This is an older one from Africa. You just use it in Africa all the time. Just a version, different wrap. This is small. This would be something for like if a dad was going to take his kids to the park and he wanted to make a small personal first aid kit. It would be something with this hemostatic in it. It's a small wrap of hemostatic. This is bigger, and this is something that used to be, it still, I believe, is in different packaging in our IFACs, our current IFACs. And Celox is the competing hemostatic to Quick Clot at this time. And then the last item I have for you is just a triangular bandage. Everybody knows what a triangular bandage is. It's just a cotton square that's about 2 feet by 2 feet. You can use it to make a sling. You can use it to hold bandage material on someone. You can use it to swath, after you sling and swath someone's arm. Any injury to the upper body that involves musculoskeletal collarbone injury, fracture to the upper arm, injury to the chest is going to have to be sling and swathed before you move. So these are also extremely cheap on Amazon. Some of the places, actually, they're 19 cents. None of this stuff should break the bank. If something is, You don't need something that's, you know, $1 million. You just need something that you can practice with. First, you can open. If you can imagine, like, if you spent money on the Celox is really expensive. If you bought the Celox and you never opened it, you never knew what it looked like, and you never knew what it felt like, or what its characteristics were, how it bent. How does this bend when you open it? How is it going to bend when I start to pack with it? You need to know how that happens. That's why the thing that kind of sucks about products like this is you really should get something and practice with it that's similar to what you're going to get. It's the same thing as using a firearm. You know, you buy a firearm and you don't never use it. You have to know what it's going to do. And the only way you're going to know what it's going to do is to practice with it. Same thing with medicine. You want to buy some rolled gauze, some kerlix, great. Open it. Show the kids at the kitchen table during a training session, or your wife, because you happen to be a cook, an amateur cook, and use knives in the kitchen. This is, honey, how you stop bleeding. Don't panic. Use your steps to control bleeding. Get the kerlix. Apply direct pressure to my arm. Elevate my arm. Use my steps to control bleeding. Sit me down. And that's you're running through the scenario. The point being is, if you buy something, make an effort to practice with it. The same with any other skill you can think of. Medicine is no different. It's the interesting thing I was talking about in my podcast, my first podcast last night, is medicine is very perishable. The skill, both the assessment of patients is perishable. You start to lose the ability to assess at a high level, but the skills themselves are perishable if you do not use them. So if someone's not in medicine, the only way to do these things is to practice with scenarios. Practice with scenarios. Thanks for stopping by today. Again, Ian from Vintage Valor Wear, and I hope you wish you all safety, and all of my people positivity and safety.